question because it's embarrassing. How many of you who are African Americans, how many of you know the African city and country from which your ancestors were born?
Not one hand went up.
One hand went up. I asked this question to 500 whites. How many of you know the city and country? I was teaching at a university, a white university. Is that cycle? Every hand went up. They knew not only the country from which they came, not only the city, but the borough. Wow. Which their ancestors. Now how come they know and none of you know? The reason is that these South Carolina and North Carolina plantation owners went to Germany to find out how they could control our fathers and mothers on the plantation. But they were getting out of hand. They were burning the houses down. They were killing white folks. They were doing everything negative about being in captivity. They were never slaves. They were prisoners of war. They were never slaves. They were prisoners of war. The war of 1591. So what happened was they sought the advice of an expert in Songhai history. Now, his name was Johann Blumenbach, and he was the head of the Department of History at the University of Göttingen in Germany. Now, how many of you know this? I know you was taught this in college and everything, all you college folks. Well, when they sought his advice,
Right.
they said, do they know that they're the Songhai people? So the plantation owners who traveled over there to seek his advice said, well, of course they know that they come from the great Songhai Empire. Well, that's your problem. You can't let them know that they came from greatness, from grandeur, from beauty, from sophistication. You'll never be able to control them. So the plantation owner said, well, how can we prevent it? I mean, the mothers and the fathers would tell the children, say, you came from Timbuktu and you came from the city of Jani and that's where we were born, and then the Europeans came over and invaded us in 1591 and marched us through the seas, through the waiting ship. You can't allow them to learn, teach that to their children. This is why you want
AI overview. Historical records indicate a presence of Judite communities within the Songhai Empire, particularly in the city of Timbuktu. Key points about the Judite presence in the Songhai Empire. Early settlement, Radhanites, multilingual Judite traders established a trading center in Timbuktu as early as the 8th century, creating a network of trading routes throughout the desert. Later arrivals, additional Judites, including Sephardi Judites, arrived in Timbuktu in the 14th and 15th century. Some were fleeing persecution in Spain after the expulsion of Judites in 1492. Persecution under Askia Muhammad I. In 1492, Askia Muhammad I, the Songhai Empire ruler, threatened Judites with death if they refused to convert to Islam. Some converted while many fled. Historical accounts. The Berber Andalusi historian Leo Africanus documented the persecution of Judites by Askia Muhammad I in 1526, stating that the king was an enemy of the Judites and would not allow them to live in the city. Hidden Judites in Timbuktu. In the 1990s, a revival of Judite identity occurred in Timbuktu, with hidden Judites, mostly Muslim descendants of Judite communities, reconnected with their Judite heritage roots. Zakhor, Association, Muhammad, D.I.D., whatever, a Timbuktu historian founded a corps, an organization for Malians of Judite descent, working with Mali's forgotten Judite history. In summary, while Judah, in reference, Yahweh, in reference to the kingdom of Judah from ancient times, isn't directly connected to the Songhai Empire, historical evidence indicate that Judite communities settled and traded within the Songhai Empire, especially in Timbuktu. These communities experienced periods of prosperity and religious freedom, as well as persecution.
Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakah Ha Kodash. And double honors to the elders and apostles of the Middle Great Millstone, and to the rest of the brethren on down that's teaching and preaching the true doctrine of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Shalom Bayashah Davadah, and to the Hakim and Akhwat that's out there repenting, to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans whose fathers go back to one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob, Yasha Allah, Shalom to you, Mashpachah. Mr. Hakarab coming at you with I'm going to try to make it quick. But the image that you see right here came from the book cover from Babylon and Timbuktu. And I want to read a couple pages, not the whole pages, but a couple of paragraphs and a couple pages out of here, so we can get a little information, because our people seem to not get it. Now, you saw the clip in the beginning of what that individual was saying concerning that these Edomites here in America tried to keep your identity from you. When our forefathers was teaching their sons and their daughters their true identity, secretly, and you kept giving our people kept rebelling against these devils. See? But I'm going to grab a couple of scriptures. We're going to grab a few scriptures too, explaining that, hey, that's what the Most High said was going to happen. We weren't no slaves that came into captivity and was being enslaved. No. We became prisoners of war. And then through you becoming a prisoner of war, you was enslaved by your enemies. See? But I'm reading this in the book of Babylon to Timbuktu, from Babylon to Timbuktu. Because who was the people in there? Now, when you go into the Songhai Empire, they called that area so-called Negro land. Now, within the confines of that area, that's below the Sahara Desert, over there in the western part of Africa, what they will refer to as Negro land, we dwelled in certain parts of certain regions of the area. See, it ain't like just us Israelites had that whole place what they would refer to as Negro land, as if we encompassed the whole. It was just only Israelites there. No, you had different people there, us and Hamites. See, and there were certain areas where we dwelled at, within a particular location in that area, and they dwelled there too. But we was not joined on to those people, but some of our people did join on to those people. See? That was why that wrath came upon us. It was all prophecy anyway. But that's why that wrath came upon us. Because Jake, it wasn't like we was obeying the Most High when we got down there. We was going off too. You had Jake's going off, always fucking going off. But I digress. But let me grab this. In the book of Babylon and Timbuktu, in page 84. We're going to start around the second paragraph, right? And I'm going to jump in there. Page 84 from Babylon and Timbuktu. Second paragraph. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Judite state with great slaughters. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrageous and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Judites fled into Africa. Did what? Fled into Africa, fleeing Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of Judite slaves, meaning what? Judites that was being enslaved, that was being held as captives, as prisoners of war, and you was being sold off. See? And that's what happened. But see, why do our people constantly always want to focus as if you is some damn Hamite? You saw in that first image with the older guy was speaking concerning our people that dwelled in West Africa. You saw the image in the background that looked like some old Egyptian ass shit. Cause these damn niggas always want to try to correlate yourself as if Africa, you was all, the black people is African, you was all one people. You people is sick as hell, man. You don't understand. This is why you went into captivity. See? This is why you was taught outside of, against your true nationality, your true identity. But our people don't seem to get it. And even now, our people don't seem to get it. You got those that's predestined to get it, but the rest of our people, you through. Because you keep, it's like you done took your identity, your heritage, your culture, your pristine heritage that the Most High gave you, and you tossed it in the trash. You tossed your pristine, your pure, your undefiled heritage that Yahweh Shem Yahushua gave you. You tossed it in the trash, and then you looked up at the other trash where all the rest of the heathen stuff is at, and then you start rummaging through that shit to try to create an identity and heritage and a culture for yourself. When the Most High gave you a pristine heritage, you tossed that in the trash. You toss that in the trash with the rest of the filth, but then start rummaging through other trash to try to make an identity and create a custom or a heritage for yourself. And that's what our people doing right now. You did it then, you doing it fucking now. You just done toss the clean heritage that's the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua gave you. And then you start rummaging through trash and filth to try to make up a heritage and for yourself. And that's what you're doing. Every time you run into some old Africa shit, you basically rummaging through some damn trash to try to find out an identity and a heritage and customs for yourself. Instead of you turning back to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Then you'll know why all these things happen to you. You ain't fucking innocent. Then you'll know why these things. Then you'll know why your God allowed these devils to take your ass, to come and conquer you ass and defeat you, and you became prisoners of war, and they took your ass into captivity. And you've been in your place of your captivity ever since. Because you don't want to turn back to your power. But let me continue though. In the fourth paragraph, in the book of Babylon from Babylon to Timbuktu, in the fourth paragraph of page 84, I'm going to read, this prophecy and all the residue of the prophecies contained in Deuteronomy 28, 15, and 68 befell the who? The Judites. Ain't all these black Jews and shit. No, he was just saying, he was just saying that basically being cleverly deceptive, if I can use that word to say it. That's why he used that. See? That's why he said that. But the real Judites, after they disobeyed the laws of Yahweh, many nations transported what? Many nations transported the Judites into slavery. And the sons of Yasharallah transmigrated to every continent. You see that? Now let me go to page 90 right quick and read that, and then we can get a couple of scriptures though. Because our people don't seem to get it, man. You just don't get it. From Babylon to Timbuktu on page 90. See? And then when this information, when this brother Rudolph R. Windsor, would you see his name right here to the left of the screen, you will see that our people will read that and they'll say, oh, that book not real. Why? Because it's telling the truth. Every time it got something to do with us, it's get rid of it because it's not the truth. It's a lie. But then when lies that was told to you by these damn devils, oh, accept that because that's the truth. See? But you Jays just don't get it. The truth will be in your face the whole time. Like our forefathers and foremothers, asked people of the past that we had, they would literally have the scriptures, our scrolls sitting on their table. And the only time they'd look at them or touch them is when they wanted to clean the dust off their table. When they called their house, they still doing Sunday cleaning in their house or Saturday cleaning their damn house. They would lift the scripture off the table, lift the Bible off the table, and they would wipe the dust off of it, and then wipe the dust off the table, clean the table, and then sit it back down on the table as if it was going to bring good luck to your house. No, the good luck comes, you will receive good deeds when you go in and follow the things that's contained in it. Not just because you got it sitting in your house. That don't mean nothing. Just because you got the scriptures sitting in your house on your table, you thought that was going to bring you, your house was going to be blessed. But see, this is the issue with our people. Never opened it up. You searched everywhere. You was looking at all kind of trash cans and dumpsters for your identity. And then you was searching and rummaging through all kind of trash and filth for an identity. And you was grabbing this from this and that from that to try to form up a heritage of your identity. But instead, your identity was sitting in your face the whole fucking time. And you just looked at it like, oh, this is for everybody and this ain't for us. It's your identity in there. But you overlooked it. You just wiped the dust off of it and set it back down. So, but let me continue though. Page 90 in Babylon, from Babylon to Timbuktu. Reading, it's somewhat like the first paragraph. Slakia. But what factors can we explain? Slakia. Slakia. But what factors can we explain the emergence of black Hebrew hegemony and leadership over the indigenous tribes? The answer is simple. The Judites came into the Western Sudan. What? The Western Sudan. From northern and eastern Africa. As a result of a chain of commercial and persecutory migrations. The Judites had settled among the most civilized people throughout the ages. They adopted new methods from other people and left their material, educational, and moral imprint among the people with whom they resided. And it says what? Now those people that we resided in, that we was around, they start following after some of our ways. They wasn't us, but they started learning and following after some of our ways. And guess what we was doing? You was picking up their bullshit too. That was the rummaging through the filth, rummaging through the trash. That was a form of you discarding your own heritage and culture, but kept certain aspects of it. But then you start applying other people's stuff to your stuff. And then they start applying your stuff to them. See? And it says they adopted new methods from other people and left their material, educational, and moral imprint among the people with whom they resided. For many centuries, the Hebrews had to employ great physical and psychological initiative. They could not afford to be complacent or empathetic. They were hated. So empathy could not mean cultural So empathy could mean cultural stagnation or death. The Judites imported into the western part of Africa a superior material, educational, and moral culture soon after 300 AD. And this cultural advancement was not duplicated or exceeded until the ascendancy of the Mohammedan leader Mansa Kakan Musa of Mali in 1312 AD. In the 3rd and 4th centuries AD, the Africans on the west coast did not possess the cultural superiority of the Africans on the north and east coast. The Judites had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, language, laws, and written records with them. And what you think those written records was? These scrolls that we had, these scriptures. This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization. Because of the stability of the Judite culture, the Judites were not absorbed into the autochthonous population. In fact, the Judites absorbed some of the native tribes. Who? Native tribe, meaning people that wasn't us. They start following after our ways. See, that don't make them Israelites. So that's like you got some of them Hamites over there. They was taught, some of them was taught our ways, and they incorporated some of our ways into their stuff, and they over there, but they ain't Israelites. See? But it says what? Let's continue. The Judites were not absorbed into the autochthonous population. In fact, the Judites absorbed some of the native tribes. The Judites made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people. In the Judite Ghanaian states were found kings, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians, language interpreters, mathematicians, jewelers, sculptors, masons, carpenters, painters of art, goldsmiths, leatherworkers, potters, armorers, saddlers, blacksmiths, and agriculturalists, etc. You see? So that's what was going on with us in West Africa. But we were surrounded, and he had heathens among us, them damn Hamites. So why do our people keep constantly always trying to run and act like you got some rich African history? No, your history is what's contained in these scriptures. Your history is the history of the Hebrew Israelites. That's your history that the Most High gave you. Not some damn talking about some rich African history. Ain't no such thing as no goddamn rich African history. You are the Hebrew Israelites, not no damn Africans. And you motherfucker, you motherfuckers that got that mindset still, the Most High gonna kill y'all right here in Babylon the Great. You're gonna die here because you don't want to wake up and grab your heritage that you threw in the damn trash. You want to stay rummaging through all the filth that was already in the damn trash can to try to search for an identity, a certain culture, a way of life. No, you need to get your heritage and your culture and your identity that you threw in the damn trash. You need to take that out. And stop rummaging through all the rest of that other filth. Let's grab a few of these scriptures, just a few, and I'm going to end it off. Isaiah 22 and verse 17. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will carry thee away with a mighty captivity, and will surely cover thee. He will what? And it says he will surely cover thee, meaning you're going to be hid. See? You're going to be hid. Matter of fact, before I continue reading, let's read that again. It says what? Behold, the Lord Yahweh will carry thee away with a mighty captivity, and will surely cover thee. Let's grab a translation real quick first. You see? I'm just looking for and hurl away. You know, I'm trying to grab one pertaining to that cover before I grab it. Boy. See, let's grab that BBE. You see what it says right there? See, O strong man, the Lord will send you violently away, gripping you with force. Now, you know what? Let me just go to it real quick. Let's just grab that. He said he will cover, and he will surely cover thee. Let's go into that word, cover thee. Right? And will surely cover thee. You see what it says? Atah. Atah. And it says to cover. Enwrap. Wrap oneself. Envelop oneself. To wrap. Envelop oneself. To cover. The bearded mourner. One who covers. To cover. Enwrap. Envelop. To grasp. But it says what? To cover. You know what that means. It says cover. It means to hide. To hide. You're going to be going to this mighty captivity. And what was that mighty captivity at? Right here in Babylon the Great. And everywhere else our people been hid at. And how was you hid? How was you hid? Because your identity was taken away from you. That's how you was hid in these places of your captivity. See? And it says what? He will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. There shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of the Lord's house. But what did he say? He go toss thee into a large country where you're going to be hid at. Why do you think it says in Psalms? Let's grab that real quick. Psalms 83, and it says what? For lo, thy enemies make it tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. You see that? Wait, it said hidden ones. Who is those hidden ones? Those of us that was going to go into captivity, that was going to be carried away into a mighty captivity, and where you was going to be covered at, meaning hidden. See? So what it says? And consulted against thy hidden ones. Wait a minute. Let's grab this. Let's grab that hidden. It says what? Tazapan. And it says what? To hide treasure or store up. To hide treasure up. To lie hidden, lurk. It says to be hidden, to be stored up. To hide from discovery. Meaning, be hid from discovering who you. Hey, you know what the fuck it said. See? So you can be hid from being discovered of who you really are. And you was hid. Your identity was hid, man. See? And I don't even need to read no more. But let's go back and grab it again. Isaiah 22:17. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will carry thee away with a mighty captivity, and will surely cover thee. He will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. And that's where the fuck we at. See? That's where we at. Let me grab this too, Luke, because I want to read that too, because they made a statement in the book of Babylon, book 2, saying that what? What was going to happen to you? What was going to happen to you? Let's read what Big Bruh say. And he says what? In 70 AD. So where did most of the Judites that was in the southern kingdom, where did they flee to? Where do they flee to? It said over 1 million. See, but that's the same. But he don't have a accurate, definitive number pertaining to how many of us actually fled into it. He don't have that. Like he had a record of actually 1 million people. It was just a lot of our people that fled out of the land. But he don't have a definitive number of how many exactly. How many? He just threw the number out there. See, he would have to have a registry of everybody that signed this registry and say that we was led out of there. He didn't have that. He just knew it was a lot of our people that fled from the southern kingdom, following Yahweh's instructions. See? The scriptures don't speak about no damn Hamites and no Africans that you just go into captivity. You go be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. But it speaks about that's going to happen to the Israelites. St. Luke 21:20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judah, the southern hemisphere of our land, flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the country enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. What people? The Israelites. That's what people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, meaning any of our people that tried to rebel when the army came in there, and Vespasian and his son Titus and that backstabbing ass nigga too. Tiberius Julius Alexander, his backstabbing ass too. And you had any about people that tried to fight, and hey, you was getting killed. If you didn't just submit and just go into captivity, you was gonna be killed. And it says what? And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. What? And Jerusalem shall be trodden down to the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be filled, meaning until their time is up. See? But what was going to happen to you? You was going to go into captivity. See? And how was your enemies going to take you in captivity? Well, let's read a scripture to show you how your enemies was going to take you in captivity. Because this always happened. When you go into the scriptures, this is how we wind up going into captivity. Any fucking captivity we went into, this is how you went into captivity. Let's grab it. Let's grab it. Judith, chapter 5, around 17. Let's go down to it. Judith. I'm going to start at 16. Judith 5:16. And they cast forth before them the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Jebusites and the Shechemites and all the Girgashites. And they dwelt in that country many days, many years. And while they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the power, Yahweh, that hated iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way, and this is the point right here, this is the point. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, the heritage that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua gave us. But what do? We departed from it. You threw it in the trash. And then you start rummaging through the damn trash and the filth, trying to find a heritage and an identity for yourself. See? But you threw away yours. You threw away your pristine heritage that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua gave you. What gave us. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore. We was what? We was destroyed in many battles very sore. And were led captives. What is that right there? Isn't that not a prisoner of war? That's a prisoner of war right there. And this is what happened in every captivity we went into. The northern kingdom went into captivity. As what? As prisoners of motherfucking war. The southern kingdom went into the Babylonian captivity, ancient Babylon captivity. As what? Prisoners of war. You didn't just get, ain't nobody just come in your land and say, hey, you going into captivity. Come on, get your shit together. Pack your bags. It's time to go. No, you was warred against. Family members was killed. And those of you that just wind up submitting, you went into captivity. But you didn't go into, you went into, as prisoners of war, that's how you went into captivity. See? This ain't happened to no Hamites. This happened to Israelites. These are your records right here. And were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. So when you came here to on this side of Americas as captivity, guess how it happened? You was a prisoner of war. They warred against you. They warred against us. And took our ass right into captivity. As what? Prisoners of war. That's how you wind up being enslaved. It was not without a fight, though. We ain't just sat back and just letting some motherfucker body put some damn yokes around our neck and drug us into a land that we knew nothing about. We fought to try to obtain and keep our freedom. We fought, but the Most High said, hey, you had to go into captivity. We had to be punished. So he wasn't fighting with us. And anytime the Most High didn't fight with us, guess what? We will be overcome. You will become prisoners of war. You see that? Let's go down to it. Right? Verse 20. Judith 5:20. Now, therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. Overcome them in what? Overcome them in what? Overcome them in battle. That's how. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua defend them, and their power be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. You see that? So these people very much knew that when we transgress the ways against our power Yahweh, guess what happened? You goes into captivity. Your enemies come and they fight against you and they prevail over you. But if you don't do those things, guess what? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua fight with us, and we overcome our enemies. See? So you Jakes need to stop running from all this stuff and get into your history, your true history, and not no history that these people trying to throw in your way as if you some Hamites. You better get out of that, oh, I'm dark brown and I'm brown, and so, yeah, we all Africans, we all brothers, they're bullshit. You better acknowledge you an Israelite and you go die right here in Babylon. You go die as a damn unbeliever. Shalom.